T-minus 30.
Status check.
Go Delta.
Go WGS 9. Green board.
25.
Light locket.
SRM TVC blowdown.
15.
Rough ignition.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, RS-68A engine ignition, 1. And we have liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Delta IV rocket carrying the WGS-9 mission for the United States Air Force. What a great way to celebrate the Air Force's 70th birthday.
At full thrust. SRM burn profile is also looking good. 20 seconds into flight. SRM chamber pressure is beginning to tail off of max pressure. 30 seconds in.
You are hearing the voice of Patrick Moore providing launch
Mach
vehicle
1
ascent
Delta 4
data.
is now supersonic. Now passing 46 seconds, max Q, maximum dynamic pressure. Vehicle traveling right down the middle of the range track, looking good. RS-68 engine operating parameters continue to look good. Now passing 1 minute into flight, approximately 30 seconds remaining in the solid rocket motor burn. SRM burn profiles continue to look good. Vehicle traveling right down the middle of the range track. Delta IV is now 14 miles in altitude, 32 miles downrange, traveling at 2,200 miles per hour. Standing by for SRM burnout shortly. And we have SRM burnout standing by for solid rocket motor jettison. We have good indication of jettison of all 4 solid rocket motors. 1 minute, 50 seconds into flight. Delta IV rocket now weighs just 1/2 of what it did at launch, burning propellant at a rate of almost 2,000 pounds per second. Upper stage ACS press valve has been opened. ACS tank is now pressurizing to flight levels. Vehicle now passing Mach 5. Delta IV is now 39 miles in altitude, 90 miles downrange distance, traveling at almost 4,000 miles per hour. 2 minutes, 15 seconds into flight. RS-68 continues to perform well. Fuel injector and chamber pressures look good. Now passing 2 minutes, 30 seconds into flight. Vehicle continuing to travel right down the middle of the range track. Upper stage LOX system has begun the boost phase chill down sequence to begin thermal conditioning of the RL-10 engine. 1 minute to BECO. Now passing 3 minutes into flight, Mach 10. And we've begun the upper stage boost phase chill down for the LH2 system, standing by for payload fairing jettison. And we have good indication of payload fairing jettison. RS-68 continues to perform well. Fuel injector and chamber pressures look good. 3 minutes, 30 seconds into flight. The vehicle guidance system has stopped active guidance in preparation for BECO. Standing by for booster throttle down shortly. And the booster has begun to throttle down in preparation for BECO. And we have BECO booster engine cutoff standing by for stage separation. We have good indication of stage separation. Heads is deploying. We have pre-start. Ignition and full thrust on the RL-10. Vehicle body rates damping out nicely from initial startup transients. This is the first of 3 planned burns for today's mission. This first burn should last approximately 15 minutes and 30 seconds.
This is Delta Mission Control at T plus 4 minutes, 41 seconds. We've just heard Patrick Moore report the successful execution of the early events of tonight's flight, and all systems continue to operate nominally. The Delta IV second stage and WGS satellite are traveling over the Atlantic Ocean in a southeasterly direction away from the coast of Florida. The mission is now in the first of 2 planned RL-10 engine burns. This burn will last approximately 16 minutes.
Now passing 10 minutes, 30 seconds into flight. The Delta IV is now 270 miles in altitude. It's 1,750 miles downrange distance, traveling at 12,500 miles per hour. Vehicle trajectory continues right down the middle of the range track. RL-10 engine operating parameters remaining nominal. Now passing 12 minutes into flight, upper stage systems continue to remain nominal. LH2 and LOX tank pressures looking good. ACS thruster firings continuing periodically as expected. Upper stage ACS tank pressure remaining stable, vehicle body rates remaining stable as well. RL-10 engine operating parameters remaining nominal. Trajectory remains right down the middle of the range track as expected. Delta IV is now 260 miles in altitude, 2,200 miles downrange distance, traveling at 13,700 miles per hour. And the upper stage has begun the 4S settling on the ACS system as expected. Now passing 13 minutes into flight.
This is Delta Mission Control at T plus 13 minutes, 7 seconds. We're approaching the end of the first of 2 planned RL-10 second stage engine burns. The Delta IV and WGS satellite are flying over the Atlantic Ocean off the west coast of Africa. Our next event, the first main engine cutoff, or MECO 1, is scheduled to take place just about
Approximately 4 minutes remaining in this first burn. The Delta IV is now 200 miles in altitude, 3,000 miles downrange distance, traveling at 16,000 miles per hour. Vehicle continues right down the middle of the range track. RL-10 engine operating parameters continue to look good. ACS thruster firing continuing as expected. ACS tank pressures remain stable. LH2 and LOX tank pressures also remaining stable. Vehicle body rates remain very low as expected for this phase of flight. Now passing 16 minutes, 45 seconds into flight, approximately 3 minutes remaining in the first burn. Now passing 17 minutes, 30 seconds into flight. RL-10 continues to perform well in this first burn. Engine operating parameters all remain nominal. Launch vehicle trajectory continues to look good. ACS thruster firings continuing periodically as planned. ACS tank pressures remaining stable. Delta IV is now 155 miles in altitude, 3,600 miles downrange distance, traveling at 18,000 miles per hour. Now passing 18 minutes, 5 seconds into flight.
This is Delta Mission Control at T plus 18 minutes, 15 seconds. The Delta IV rocket carrying the WGS-9 satellite lifted off from Space Launch Complex 37 at 8:18 p.m. Eastern Time. We're now approximately 2 minutes away from completion of the first of 2 planned RL-10 engine burns. The mission will then enter a 10-minute coast period, followed by restart of the RL-10 engine. Let's join Patrick Moore for mission progress.
Approximately 1 minute remaining in the first burn. RL-10 continues to perform well. Engine operating parameters remain nominal. "19 minutes into flight. Now passing 19.5 minutes into flight, standing by for MECO 1 shortly. And we have MECO. Second stage engine is cut off. Vehicle body rates have damped out nicely after the cutoff transients. ACS thruster firings are continuing as planned. And we have pre-start on the RL-10. We have ignition and full thrust on the RL-10. This is the second of 3 planned burns for today's mission. This second burn should last approximately 3 minutes. Vehicle body rates have damped out nicely after initial startup transients. RL-10 engine operating parameters looking good. Now passing 30 minutes into flight.
This is Delta Mission Control at T plus 30 minutes, 8 seconds. As just reported, the Arlington engine has been restarted. This second burn will last about 3 minutes. Our next event, MECO 2, completes the engine burns for this mission. Here again is Patrick Moore.
Now passing 30 minutes, 30 seconds into flight. Approximately 2 minutes remaining in the second burn. RL10 operating parameters continue to remain nominal in the second burn. Vehicle body rates looking very good for this phase of flight. One minute, 23 seconds remaining in the second burn. Approximately 1 minute remaining in the burn. RL10 continuing to perform well. Vehicle body rates remain stable. LOX and LH2 tank pressures also looking good, and ACS tank pressure also remaining stable. Standing by for MECO 2 in approximately 30 seconds. Approximately 10 seconds to MECO. And we have MECO. Upper stage engine is cut off. Vehicle body rates have damped out nicely from cutoff transients. We are now entering into an approximately 9-minute coast duration prior to spacecraft separation. "30 seconds remaining until spacecraft separation. Vehicle body rates remaining stable. ACS thruster firings continuing as planned in preparation for spacecraft SEP. Standing by for spacecraft SEP shortly. And we have good indication of separation of the WGS-9 spacecraft.